Hey, it's Karen and Jen, and we're joined today with Candace Carr from the Mortgage Group. Thanks for being with us, Candace.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We know today is not, normally we have fun when we're talking about things, and today we know we're dealing with a little bit of a heavier subject. In our first of this video series, we were discussing how to navigate the real estate side of your life when you're going through a separation or divorce. And one of the things that we talked about was the importance of assembling a great team of people to surround yourself with, so that you have hopefully a great realtor.
Yeah.
But we also know the importance of having a great mortgage broker who actually has been through it and understands the emotions that are involved and the details that this is a completely different situation, correct, than just somebody coming in looking to purchase a home. You know that this is a completely different situation. So we want to just talk about what is different when those people come in to see you.
Yeah, I agree. It is totally different. The situation is always really delicate, and people, when they go through separation or divorce, it's big change for everybody, and change is uncomfortable. And it's new and it's scary, and like everybody's going through all these emotions. So I kind of expect when people come in that they're a bit glossed over, you know, they're trying to like pay attention and listen, but I want those people to know that I am there to hold their hand through the process. And it is different because the situation is very delicate, and you know, there's both sides. You know, they both obviously live in the same house. So are you keeping the house? Are you selling the house? What can you afford on your own? And that's a whole nother kind of can of worms, is people trying to deal with now, oh my gosh, I have a single income family now.
Right.
What can I afford? Do I know what I can afford? What could my payments be?
So based on that, do you have any advice for people in the timeline of the process of things that they need to go through or that they should think about before they come to us and start shopping for their new home?
Sure. Yes.
You know, is there something they should be doing before that?
Yes, I can meet with anybody at any period. I've met with people from the point where they're thinking of maybe they're thinking about separating from their spouse and they want to know what they could qualify for beforehand, or maybe they're in the middle of going through it. But they definitely need to think about a separation agreement.
Right.
If they want to keep the house, if they're making a payout to their spouse to be able to keep the house, or if they're going to be keeping the house and maybe giving the spouse all the RSPs, just as an example.
Right.
So there's so many different scenarios to work through with people and to know what's needed. But one of the big parts that is needed always is a separation agreement, and it should be a legal separation agreement. Each party would need independent legal advice.
Right.
So that's kind of the big piece of it, but I can meet with anybody in any stage, even before, to have the agreement to know, okay, based on your income, let's say we keep support payments out of it totally, what could you afford on your own based on the debt levels that you have and your income that you have.
So we're going to be having a conversation at some point in this process with a family law attorney as well, because we know that that's sort of that third element of all of this team that's being assembled. So do you recommend that that's their first point of discussion, to figure out how the division of assets is going to occur and getting that separation agreement taken care of before this, or do you think the timeline matters?
I definitely think they should meet with one, but not always. Actually, I kind of like to meet with them beforehand so that they kind of have an idea of what they need. Know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, so you need this much income, or if, let's say, one of the parties has a very low income and they are going to be getting support payments. Well, obviously the other side sometimes fights to pay less support. This person needs a certain amount of support to be able to qualify to buy a home on their own.
Right.
So I like to meet with them beforehand so that they know going into the lawyer's office, okay, I need this much money to qualify for X house, or if I want to downsize, I need this much money. Just to know, kind of give them the big picture before they go into the lawyer's office and then come out saying, okay, I have this. Instead, we can run through so many different scenarios with them instead, so that they know when they go into the lawyer's office, if this is the support payment I'm going to get, or let's say no support, then you qualify, or maybe you're paying support payments. So if I'm paying support payments, then how much can I qualify for?
Right. Okay, that's a really good point. And so in that avenue, we know what happens in a traditional real estate transaction about the documents that you're going to require from people. That's proof of income and all of those things. What's different with what you're going to require from them as far as documentation when they're in this situation?
So it depends on if they want to move and buy something different, or if they want to stay in the family home.
That was one of my questions I was going to ask with
Right.
these new stress tests and everything going on from a lending standpoint for all buyers right now. Is that affecting people to a great extent if they are trying to keep their family home intact?
Not always. It depends also on what the payout might be or how much equity you have in your home as well. That makes a big difference. And there can be exceptions made to certain, let's say, debt servicing. Like you could have more debt if you have, more equity in your home, that kind of thing. So it just depends.
No, that's great information.
So do you recommend too then that if somebody were to come to us and they're right at that first stage, that and if they haven't already talked to a mortgage broker, that we should be sending them to you?
I would say
to get things ironed out
Absolutely.
before we even start house hunting,
Yeah,
correct?
because sometimes they kind of go like, oh, I need a place to go, or I need a
I know.
house. But kind of you have to dial it back a little bit to know, okay, what do I qualify for? Am I shopping for a house or a condo? Because if you're shopping for a condo, that makes a big difference on qualifying also, because now we're trying to include condo fees in on the debt servicing, which
Right.
makes a difference for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely, and I can run through every scenario. Like there's so many different things that we can run through so that they have a clearer idea before they come to you to say, hey, I'm looking for a house.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to be $300,000 or $600,000.
Which makes a big difference.
That's a huge difference. And
Yeah.
also, I mean, some things to consider that I talk to lots of clients about, and I know it's not always mortgage related, but do you want to stay in your same neighborhood? Do your kids go to school at a certain school? Are you willing to switch schools with them when you move? Things like that. So then they kind of think back, like I said before, you come in and you're kind of all over the place because it's a tough time in people's life.
Right.
For sure.
So maybe they haven't even thought of that. Maybe they think, oh my gosh, my kids can't switch schools. And then they pull towards maybe they are going to keep the family home.
Right.
Yeah.
So, or maybe one of them, maybe the spouse is going to keep the family home, and then this person will get a payout maybe from the equity of the home.
Yeah.
Then they can go buy something else, but at least the kids can stay in the school district they want to be in.
Yeah, for sure. I think that I agree with you. When people come to you, they're going to be in a situation where they don't even know what's possible for them. And where do I even start?
sure.
So is there something you would want people to know?
That it takes time and be patient with the process. Separation agreements tend to take longer than people think they will.
Right.
But also that we can meet a few times. It's not like a one time and you need to have a decision. And I'm always available for people to call or text, hey, what about this scenario? I found this house, what would my payments look like? There's so many different options for
That's a
people
good point.
that at least with the first meeting, we can kind of get some scenarios going. And I feel like once people have a bit of direction, or at least not everything is the unknown, maybe they think, okay, I know what my budget is, I know what I'm looking for now, and it makes them just feel that much more secure in a really kind of uncomfortable, insecure situation that they're going
We agree. We find that as
Absolutely.
well. So,
Yeah, absolutely,
and
for
people on our side of things have a much easier time feeling good about their purchase when they know what their budget they can handle and what their payments
For
are.
sure, and if I can make financing just one less concern for them, where they know they're pre-approved and we're gonna have no problems, that's my goal. It's just to make one of the steps just a little easier for people.
Which is great.
You know what, Candace, thank you so much for joining
Yes.
us in this discussion, because part of the reason that we wanted to do this is we just really felt that there's a service to be provided to people who really have either been through it or really firmly understand the process and have dealt with multiple clients that are in this situation, and you know how to help navigate them through it. So we appreciate you taking the time to join us today. You can get more information about this from Candace at, well, how would you like them to contact you?
They could call me, 306-531-6880. You could also reach me by email, candace@candacecar.ca, and I have some information on my website as well, candacecar.ca.
Perfect. And then you can find more information actually on our website also. There will be a blog with all of more content on this and other stuff too. And that's at w2realtyteam.com. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks.
Thanks.